Chapter 7. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Yashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtuti Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuromiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Rita Shri Vishakhanditam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusite Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Putri Prabhupada Putri Shri Giriraja Sandana Sri Krishna Sadhya Girira Sadhya Shri Radha Rasti Hari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Putri Shri Vedanta Swami Kirani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Pachari Nideshesha Shri Radhika Sri Taran Mukham Karoti Vachalam Prabhupada Shri Guru Deva Hare Krishna. So we are discussing chapter 7. Okay, now we are on text 3. So these first few verses, they are quite packed. So we are taking some time for the first few verses. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha. Out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Purport. There are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. So, what is the title of this chapter? What is it?
Knowledge of the absolute.
Okay, knowledge. So now we may know down what we are supposed to know. All right. So let's know down what we are supposed to know. What are they, Malaji? What are they?
We are supposed to know what is the self, what is our body, and what is the absolute truth.
Okay, so these are the items of knowledge. All right. Who are you? What is this material world? And my body is made of this material world. And what is the absolute truth? Believe me, after studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, your vision of this material world is going to change. So this point about absolute truth. Everybody is living in a relative truth. So this, like what I'm saying now, is theory. But as time passes, you will start to understand what is the meaning of absolute truth. Krishna will make sure to reveal it to you. Relative truth and absolute truth. Yes. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in an animal propensity. So this is what everybody is doing: eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. The first 6 chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, in understanding the self, the super self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and discrimination of the self from matter, meaning Sankhya Yoga. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time, he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalists, Shri Shankaracharya, had admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the supreme person Godhead, his followers do not accept Krishna as such. For it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman. So why is it easier to achieve impersonal Brahman realization than Krishna? It's a very pertinent question. You tell me this.
Yeah, because here Prabhupada says that Krishna can be known only by people who are in Krishna consciousness. And other transcendentalists are taking an easy path to understanding the person.
What's that? Other transcendentalists?
Transcendentalists are doing impersonal Brahman realization, but this is easier than understanding Krishna.
Yeah, so
So
why
people are taking the easy way out.
What's the easy way out?
Doing Brahman realization and calling yourself as being spiritual and, being on the spiritual path. Whereas Prabhupada says here that Krishna can be known only by people who are in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so why is it that only some people can know and not everybody? Everybody should know Krishna is supreme. What's the problem? It's easier to know impersonal Brahman than to know Krishna. Why?
Because further he writes, Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time he's beyond. So if he's beyond Brahman and Paramatma, then how can somebody know by just knowing Brahman and Paramatma?
Yeah, but it's easier to know the Brahman. Why?
Follow the regulative principles, Mother.
What's about the regulative principles?
The Gyanis and the impersonalists don't follow the regulative principles.
Which regulative principles they don't follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling.
The yogis and jnanis don't follow these 4 regulative principles?
Mataji, is it because the relationship is missing in that impersonal Brahman realization? It's very difficult to achieve a relationship with Krishna unless we are devoted and doing service to him.
Srila Prabhupada is saying that Where is it? What do we read now? I lost it. Okay. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, or this is easier than understanding Krishna. So why is it that it is difficult to understand Krishna? You are correct, Manoj. I'm rephrasing it. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, or this is easier than understanding Krishna. Rephrasing what you said, because Krishna is a person. Krishna is a person. It's very difficult to accept that God is a person. It's much easier to say, you know, God is everywhere. God cannot be touched, cannot be seen, cannot be tasted. It's easier. As soon as I say God is a person, oh my God. Remember when I was sufficiently strong enough, bold enough to say that God is a person. It was really bold for me to face the world, actually. To face the world and say, God, Krishna is a person and he exists. Very, very bold of me. And the person to whom I was saying just looked at me with a smile. And I had to tolerate that smile. It's meaning that, oh, what a fool. You say God is a person. What's the problem there? No, this is such an important thing. The whole world is saying God is impersonal, and here comes one, saying, no, Krishna is a person. God is a person. What's the problem? To understand this.
Mataji, is it because material people in the material world then think that if we say he's a person, then he's not extraordinary, like we understand or we accept?
Yes. Yeah, Anupam Mishra.
Mataji, is submission a problem?
Yes, submission is definitely the problem. So, because people also think that God, if I say God is a person, immediately I think he's a human being like me, right? Okay, who wants to read? The next paragraph, who wants to read this?
May I read, Mataji?
Yes.
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy. But when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.101, Shruti Smriti Puranadi पंचरात्र विधिं विना ऐकांतिकी हरेर भक्ति उत्पातयैव कल्पते. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society.
Okay, so is the path of bhakti easy?
No.
So here Prabhupada is making the statement. All right. So why is it that the impersonalists, the non-devotees say, yes, bhakti yoga is very easy? Why do they say this?
Mataji, because they see us doing a day-to-day activities in a normal sense, and doing eating and everything normally. Whereas the focus of bhakti is on the consciousness mainly.
Just here. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. Why?
Because there are rules and regulations.
Yes.
And
there's a lot of self-control, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, Mataji, it requires humility, which practitioners of other paths may not have, since they feel that they will be able to come up with a philosophy themselves, or they may be able to attain the supreme goal on the basis of their own purity and strength. But in bhakti, practice bhakti in a genuine way, we require humility.
Yes, that's also true. So rules and regulations, but when it is practiced factually, according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. So it's not meat eating, intoxication, gambling. That's not what we are talking about here. Those sadhana, our rules and regulations, meaning our sadhana bhakti. And also, I think somebody said it, that bhakti, the bhakti yoga looks like karma. And that's why even devotees, they fail. Because they don't do service. You keep on calling out, come and do service for Krishna, nobody responds. So they can't practice bhakti yoga. So when you put that forward, that no, you must come and serve Krishna, you must come and preach, you must come and cook for the deities, no, you must come and distribute books. You don't do it. So most devotees also fail from the path of bhakti yoga. So the philosophers say, no, better I sit and philosophize and read the books. And just go on reading the books, because that's their work. They give up the world, they give up everything, and what do they want to do? They just want to go and study the books. They say, no. Bhakti is devotional service. So you have a time when you're engaged in your sadhana. There is a time when you work to earn your living. And there is a time when you actually dedicate to service. So the majority of devotees also fail. They're not able to do it. They're ready to donate something, but they're not ready to come and do service. So therefore, the path of bhakti is very difficult. Prabhupada, at the age of 70, crossed over the ocean, right, to go and start a movement. This is work, right? It's hard work. And his disciples, those who were very sincere, they worked. But we can also see most of them don't want to do. They also fall away. So therefore, the path of bhakti is not easy. It's very easy, to just, even chanting. From what I heard, I don't know whether it's true, but I heard that majority of devotees who take a vow to chant 16 rounds are not chanting 16 rounds. That's what I heard. Maybe first 3 years, very enthusiastic, 5 years, 10 years, and then gradually, we don't know what happened. Then one thing for sure that I know, they don't read the books. What to speak of study the books. So the path of bhakti is not very easy. Beginning, it's called utsahamai, full of enthusiasm, eager. Like right now, what we are seeing, the devotees are not ready to even, they're not even ready to come and attend the satsang program. They say online. Everything they want online. So the path of bhakti is not easy that you have. They say, why should I come to the temple and hear a class? I can sit at home. I don't have to pay the travel fare. I can save 2 to 3 hours of travel. So the path of bhakti is not easy. So Prabhupada said, if the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional self is very easy, they cannot practice it because this is what we are describing here. It's hard work. So there are 3 aspects to it. First is your sadhana, all right? The sadhana. Second is that, you work with an intention to keep body and soul together so that you can do service for Krishna. But then we are not ready to do service for Krishna. So, if the path of bhakti is so easy, are the non-devotee class or men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Difficult path. So what is it? So they think that, in order to achieve self-realization, I must study the books. I should know, all the grammatical rules. I don't know what they do in their Jnana Yoga, but actually we went Mayapur, and we went to some place, pilgrimage. So we went some temples. So then I heard that there was a temple, 108 temples of Lord Shiva. And whoever that devotee was with us said, did you want to? I said, yes. And it was around maybe 12, 13, 1 o'clock. I don't know. I didn't realize what it means. I said, yes. I want to go to the temple of Lord Shiva and see the 108 temples of Lord Shiva. So when we came there, and they said, okay, now take off your shoes. And I said, what? Now can you imagine it's 1 o'clock, all right, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. And it is heat, the heat of fire. Take off your shoes, 108 temples. You have to walk on that parikrama with your bare feet, and it's stone. Oh my God, I said, walk fast. So we were walking on hot charcoal. And you know what was coming to my mind? I was thinking of how, Radha Ras Bihari temple. When the summer comes, very mercifully, from the shoe stand to on the step, they put a rug, right? They put a rug, and I say, better worship Krishna, Lord Shiva is making me burn my sins to the sole of my feet. Okay, anyway, so they want the difficult path, because that's what it means with the impersonalists, so they have to go take the dip in so many holy places, whether it's hot or whether it's cold, it doesn't matter, you must take the dip, because that's the austerity. Whereas Srila Prabhupada, and we've read everywhere, you just take the achaman and you remember, simply remembering Ganga Devi, simply by remembering, praising her, appreciating her, you get the benefit of taking the full gift. Right? But no, the karmis and jnanis and yogis, what they do, they must go inside in the cold water. Doesn't matter. So why do they take the difficult path? I'm describing the difficult path right now. So they find that it is better to take the cold dip or to walk on hot stone than to do devotional service. And the reason is because I'm doing all these austerities for my own personal self. Whereas devotional service is for somebody else. This is why bhakti is not easy. Why should I work for somebody else? Whereas all the dipping in cold water or the walking on hot stone is for my own, self. So, the speculative scholars and philosophers, they fall away from the path. So devotional service of the Lord that ignore the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narad Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. So we have already read a lot from Bhagavad Gita. So a main component in bhakti is to recognize that you are a person and the others are also persons. And each and every one exists eternally as a person. Meaning that I have my desire, you have your desire, and we learn to live together. This is the path of bhakti, where impersonalism means that, okay, you don't exist and I don't exist, it's only the Brahman, impersonal Brahman. It's easy, right? I don't have to face your ego, you don't have to face my ego. Easy. It's all one. I agree or I disagree with you, doesn't matter. You're right, I'm also right. It's all Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay? That's impersonalism.
Mataji, I think in bhakti also there is a common goal, right? Everyone together, we are children of Krishna, we have to serve, we cannot offend anyone. Whereas jnanis and karmis, it's all I, me, myself. I have to do for myself.
Yes, yes. So accepting that, we are working for Krishna, that's why, anyway, mostly we fall away. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So among thousands of men, so many may endeavor for perfection. But hardly anyone achieve that perfection. They fall off the path. So even among us, devotees, you know. Okay, who wants to read now?
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes.
It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat surya, mam tu vedana kaschana. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then Sa Mahatma Surdurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, Tatvataha. Even though one is a great scholar or philosopher, only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna, his being the cause of all causes, his omnipotence and opulence, and his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees. He is the last word in Brahman realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore, it is said, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Grahya Indriye Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayam Eva Spurati Adaha. No one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with him for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.234. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so this is now going straight to Krishna's person, what he is, who he is, the son of Mother Yashoda, and the charioteer of Arjuna. And so only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. All right, so that was just a prelude to chapter 7 and to this section. Text 4. Bhumira Ponalavayu Kammano Buddhirevacha Ankara iti yamme Dina Prakriti Ashtada. Anupama Mishra.
Translation: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Purport: the science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord, in his different Purusha incarnations, expansions, as described in Satvat Tantra. Vishnu Sutrini Rupani Purusha Purushakyani Atho Vidu Ekam Tu Mahatah
Shrishri. Shrashtri.
Strashtra. Strashtra.
No,
Strashtra.
it's not tra, it is
Sha.
three.
Sha and sha half and thra. Sra and sha and tra. In Hindi, it's written.
Shrikala with the here in the English with the diacritic mark. It is, I don't know which one is correct, whether your translation or what is here. So it is Shrashtri. Ri. All right, it's A with a dot in it below is Dri. It's Ri.
Three.
All right,
Three.
Shastri. Yeah.
Dvitiyam tva and samasthitam. Tritiyam sarvabhuta stham tani natva vimuchyate. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each one of them. The third, Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement.
Okay,
This
so
material world.
yeah, sorry. So this part now is speaking of the energies of the Lord. So now starts the analysis. Knowledge of the absolute. So text 1 to 3 was just the beginning, and this knowledge, all right, this knowledge that we want to achieve is hardly known to anyone. So what is this knowledge? Now it starts from text 4. So what is it? It is Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhir Evacha Ahankara Itiyam Me Dina Prakriti Ashtada. So the first item of knowledge that we need to know is about Prakriti. So this is what is being discussed here. So this Prakriti is coming from, is one of the energies of the three Vishnus. So we know about these three Vishnus, all of us, I hope so. The three Vishnu, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So the first Mahavishnu creates the total material energy known as Mahat Tattva. So this Mahat Tattva actually has an original state, that is Prakriti, Pradhan. So this, it's a subtle, the material elements exist in a subtle way. And it's exactly like father and mother who combine and produce a child. So Pradhan is feminine, it's the feminine energy of the Lord. And Mahavishnu glances on this Pradhan and agitates it. And this is done through, so that glance of Lord Vishnu is what we call Lord Shiva. So when that agitation happens, so then there is material manifestation. So there is a stage in between the cosmic manifestation and this Pradhan. This is what we call Mahat Tattva. It is this that form of Vishnu that carries the material ingredients. Anyway, I can't get into all this. From second canto, you study all this. So this one Mahavishnu creates the total material energy known as Mahat Tattva. So Mahat Tattva consists of material energy plus Vishnu himself. So that Mahat Tattva is actually Vishnu. Okay, yes, continue.
This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these three Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalists, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas, and the impersonalist accepts this Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the complete energetic person and he possesses different separated and internal energies.
Okay, so the first point here is that material world is temporary. All right, everybody knows this. Our body is temporary. The whole material creation is temporary. And all these activities in the material world, they are being directed by the three Purusha. But what's the problem in this world?
Everyone thinks he is the Purusha.
Yes. Everyone thinks he's the Purusha. And the controllers, the causes, I create, it's my creation. The causes, the controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. It's a big illusion going on. So who is the cause of all causes? Krishna. And the ingredients of the material world is simply bhinna prakriti. So see, you're learning A, B, C, D. So this text here is the A, B, C, D, because when you're going to study more and more, you should know this. All right, that material creation is bhinna prakriti. It is separated energy of the Lord. All right, please don't forget this, bhinna prakriti. Separated energy. Separated meaning that it's not the Supreme Lord himself. Swayam. No, it's not Krishna's to Swayam. This is separated. Bhinna. Separate from him. So make the difference. Right. So we are reading that the Paramatma also is a temporary manifestation. So you can note this down. So Brahma Jyoti is eternal, but the Paramatma manifestation is not eternal. Wait, did we notice that? All right. Material world is not eternal. It's temporary. Brahma Jyoti is eternal, but Paramatma is not eternal. Why? Why?
Mataji, he accompanies the living entity until the living entity is in the material world. But when the living entity returns back to the spiritual world, there they meet Krishna himself personally.
Yes, correct. Because the Paramatma has come only because we've come in here. Otherwise, he doesn't have any work. Okay, go on reading.
In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, sky, are called the 5 gigantic creations or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahatattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya, atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energies and are separated from him, but atheistic. Sankhya philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of the external energy of Krishna as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, now. So comes the 5 gross elements. And then here, Sri Sat, so gross materialists, the scientists, they only know about this and they neglect. Now, philosophy, now, today a lot is about, everybody wants to be psychologists, right? What's your job? Well, I meet all these young girls. I've completed my graduation, we're studying psychology. What for? Right? Mind, intelligence, but they don't discuss about the false ego. I don't know what they discuss. They go on, emotional care, or this care, that care, God knows what. All counseling, they call it. Counseling. So philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. So the false ego, I am and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, include the 10 sense organs for material activities. Do you know what are these? I hope this is all Sankhya philosophy. Here in this particular paragraph, the 24 elements are being enumerated. Please take your pen and paper and write it down, these 24 elements, and see if we are able to count. Okay, who will tell me what are the 24 elements?
Mataji, 5 are the gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether.
Yes.
Then 5 knowledge acquiring senses, which are the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin.
Yes.
The next 5 are the sense objects, which are form, sound, smell, taste, and touch.
Yes.
And then the working senses, legs, hands, voice, anus, and genitals.
Yeah, that comes to how many?
And 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, false ego. And the 24th element is the 3 modes of nature, material nature.
Okay. All right. So these are the 24 elements. So we call pradhan, the unmanifested mode of material nature, or mahat-tattva, or contaminated intelligence. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the mahat-tattva. All right, so these are the 24 elements. We have to give you full marks.
Mataji had it in module 1, Vedic philosophies. So
Yes.
that's
what we study. All right. Yeah, I think we should stop here, because the next one will take us another 20 minutes. So any questions on this?
Mataji, can I ask a question?
Yes, my dear.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, you said that like we are not ready to render service to Krishna, but sometimes as grihasthas it becomes very confusing. Like for example, in my particular situation, I have deities at home. Now I have to, as per my mother-in-law's training, I have to offer them bhoga time to time and do aarti time to time. So, and then taking care of the household. So there's hardly any time to render service in the temple. So does not the services here at home count?
Of course, of course. Of course, you're cooking, like Prabhupada said that how do the householders think? They think that I'm going to work to bring money so that I can offer my food to Krishna, right? So that I can feed Krishna, rather. So that I can feed Krishna. I'm cooking to feed Krishna. So this is the mind of the householder. And for you, you are cooking and offering to Krishna. You're cleaning the house for Krishna. It's your temple. Yeah. But beside that, the deity you worship, beside that, this is there throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, say that we must preach. Why? Because this is the only way we can give up our envy and enmity towards others. This is the only way. And this is what is so unique with bhakti. Bhakti is forcing you to go and meet another individual. And it's amazing. Throughout Bhagavatam, it's described that you must go and preach. It's not that Prabhupada invented it, or it's not even that Mahaprabhu invented it. No, it's there in the pages of Bhagavatam.
Mataji, so like if suppose as such I do not, it's not very important for, I mean, like suppose if some grihastha earns and then donates, genuinely with the desire to, propagate the Krishna consciousness mission, and like considerable part of his earning, his or her earning. So is that contribution still lower compared to personal involvement in preaching?
Well, there are different ways of engaging in devotional service, right? So to offer one's wealth is also one of them. It's not the perfect thing. This is chapter 12, text 8 to 12. I think we're going to read. So the best, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Person Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Text 9. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you're going to fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Text 10. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. If, however, you're unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all the results of your work and try to be self-situated. This is what you're talking about. This is among the lowest on the rung. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation, renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So, to donate is among the lowest that you can do.
Okay, Mataji.
Yes. So we serve Krishna through our wealth, through our body, intelligence, words. So lowest of the rung is your wealth.
So whenever there's a possibility, one should, as in if one has an option, one should render personal service in the mission compared to earning and donating money.
You save your money and you have your own center. No, so that you have to go and donate somewhere, you know.
Oh, okay, Mataji.
Yeah, when you have programs, feed the devotees, distribute books, organize your programs. 50% Srila Rupa Goswami has said. No, you just have to give, go give here and there, no. I mean, if that is important for you to work and earn and then to spend for Krishna, so you can spend it yourself. Instead of saying, okay, my work is done, I'll just give a donation and my work is done.
Mataji, I somehow feel, I mean, this is my understanding, that if there are some devotees who are, very sincerely trying to serve Krishna, if they need some assistance, and if I have money, and if I'm earning, then if I can serve them, so that's also, I mean, this is my understanding,
Yes,
but
to give charity to the Brahmanas, to give charity to the devotees, yes. This is part of the duty of the Grihasthas. Yes, but why not go and cook for them? Why do you just want to give money?
Okay,
I actually remember this. I was very sick. I was sick, and so I just asked somebody. Anyway, somebody brought me from home. She brought prasad one time, 2 times, and the 3rd time she told me I couldn't do this. So what did she do? What did she do? She bought me pots. I didn't have a kitchen. So that was her way that she wanted to do some service. She bought me, until today I have her pots that I'm still using. She bought me the pots, which I accepted. But she will not come and cook for me, even though I'm lying in bed and sick. So this is one way, so we accepted it, but so that's why I don't think money is so powerful that you can buy everything and anything and everyone.
Correct, Mataji. I got the point.
All right.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Not like Monica, just Monica's there, right? Where did she disappear? Right? Monica, she did everything for me. She was in the office for 1 year, right? She did everything in the office, plus she did everything for me personally.
Mataji, that was my good luck. Krishna gave me that service. See, now I'm not doing anything. Just remembering that time. That was Krishna's mercy that I got.
Thank you. That was a good memory for me. I just suddenly saw her name and said, oh my God, yeah, but she did everything. All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Anupama, I think you have to end our